morning, YouTube. Hope you're having a fine day. I just finished up a fuel stop in somewhere in Tennessee. Making my way carefully through the lot here. While folks, are you turning? Are you stopping? What's going on here? Oh, we got some lane control happening. Well, let's just go ahead and wait this out. Go back to off duty as opposed to use drive time. I'm gonna jump a little bit here. Anyway, today's session of yammering. I just finished fueling. I figured I'd talk about energy and trucking just a little bit. Oh, I guess I get to move now. Oh, good deal. Let's go ahead and roll. Let's see what's what. Wait my turn to turn. Oh Lord. So yeah. Anyway, just put in about 120 gallons of diesel, give or take. Cost me about $400. That's not including the price of diesel exhaust fluid. And why I want to mention that is because of the fact that there is a considerable push, obviously, towards electric everything, battery trucks, the whole 9 yards. Drive through mud, and I just had this trailer washed last night. Very unfortunate. Oh well, that's life. So, did some digging last night to try to make another video talking about this subject, just because I was curious. So I decided to look into the range of the Tesla Semi, as well as the Freightliner e-cascadia and the Kenworth T680E. The Tesla Semi has two flavors, currently projected to be produced whenever they're actually built and begin getting on the road hauling revenue freight. And the two flavors of the Tesla Semi are a 300-mile version and a 500-mile version. The 300-mile version has an expected, they say, expected price of $150,000. The 500-mile version has an expected price of $180,000. Okay? That's Tesla and their two offerings. The Freightliner e-cascadia tractor, day cab truck, mind you, day cab truck. I didn't see a price on it. I'm assuming it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $110 to $145 per unit, meaning $110,000 to $145,000 per unit for a range of 250 miles. Whereas the Kenworth T680E currently has a range, I believe the maximum is about 150 miles. Alright, well, you gotta start somewhere. And for local point-to-point, hub-and-spoke type operations, the Freightliner e-cascadia and the Kenworth T680E will eventually become absolutely dynamite products and trucks that will reduce emissions of diesel exhaust at least, and DEF usage in and around, so my cruise control here, in and around major cities at the cost of using more rare earth mineral elements to create the batteries for those trucks. And the Tesla semis eventually will become fully fleshed out on highway viable major city to major city trucks. However, since there currently is no infrastructure on a national level for them to charge, literally go Los Angeles to Chicago or Los Angeles to New York and back, with the ability either to hot swap the batteries at truck stops or just be able to recharge them overnight, they are currently, in my opinion, they are not viable. There is no on-highway truck platform right now that I'm aware of in January 2022, major point, that can truly even consider the possibility of actually challenging the diesel semi-truck in any capacity. It's just there's no currently available system or method of operation in which the over-the-road semi-truck with a condo sleeper like this T680 I'm driving right now gets replaced by an electric semi. Now that's January 2022. We could be singing a much different tune in January 2024 or January 2029. We'll know when we get there. If we haven't murdered ourselves first with a global nuclear holocaust, who knows? But assuming there's no global nuclear holocaust or the rapture doesn't happen or anything else of that nature, or an alien invasion or whatever, meteor, comet, whatever, then we'll really see how things shake out. But because the electric semis, there is no infrastructure for them to charge over the road, going point to point, and there is no currently available infrastructure to, replace batteries on the road in case of battery fire, battery explosion, battery failure. They're just nowhere near as close to being ready as people would like them to be or say they will be. So if you're worried in January 2022 about electric semis replacing you or your business, I wouldn't worry too much. We got more time to plan. But here's a bit of food for thought. Brand new Kenworth T680, next gen, sticker price for a general configuration, full condo sleeper truck, probably is, according to my salesman I was talking to, is about $180,000. All right. Now the Tesla 500-mile range truck has a price of $180,000. $180,000 for 500 miles versus 180,000 miles for a minimum of 1,200 miles on 200 gallons of diesel fuel. And I say minimum because the mileage really depends on the driver and how he or she or they operate the truck, the conditions they're operating in, as well as the terrain they're operating on. Those all play factors into fuel economy. Truck configuration, weight of freight, driveline and gear ratios, transmission setup, number of gears in the transmission, engine size and displacement, the horsepower rating, the torque rating. All of those elements play into fuel economy, of course. But 1,200 miles base minimum with 200 gallons of diesel fuel on board, that's what this truck will do, from all the way full to all the way empty for $180,000. Now, on a pure cost of ownership basis, as well as the reliability basis, and as well as the profitability basis, those three factors, the diesel semi-platform, without question, in my opinion, at least until 2025, is going to be the method by which freight is moved in the United States. Now, and unless there is some generational breakthrough in battery technology that will enable them to get the same energy density of 200 gallons of diesel fuel into a battery system that will not increase the weight of a semi-truck above 20,000 pounds gross vehicle weight with no trailer, critical point, until that happens, the electric semi, in my opinion, just does not compete with the diesel trucks. Yeah, you don't semi-trucks just because there's no infrastructure currently in place to support them. Now, the recent legislation that passed allegedly contains some provisions to begin implementing nationwide charging, according to what I've heard. I haven't read the legislation myself. I'm just assuming. So it means I'm probably wrong. But still, until they actually start building charging stations at truck stops where electric semis can go in, they can run their 300 to 500 miles a day, depending on what configuration you get. At least with the Tesla semi, shut down for the day, plug it in, charge it up, whatever, pay the charging fee, and still pay less than the cost of diesel. But the sacrifice for that is you can't run team, and the Tesla semi is only built with one seat anyway. You can't run team, you can't run long range, and you're limited in where you can go, at least until they get nationwide charging put into place. So the Tesla semi, as far as I'm concerned, is a dead stick, at least for the next 3 years. Again, barring a generational breakthrough in technology or just massive and rapid and just incredible investment in coast-to-coast infrastructure to actually build in the capacity for those trucks to be sustainably charged and serviced. Crucial points: charged and serviced from Los Angeles to New York City and back. Until that happens, the e-semi, dead stick. That's my take. That's what I believe to be true. I could be wrong, of course, because it is January 2022. We'll see what happens in January 2025. We'll see what happens. But right now, if I'm going to go out and invest in a new equipment, which I'd like to, I'm buying a diesel semi. No question. No question. 200 gallons of diesel fuel on board, good condo sleeper, good motor, good transmission, configuring it optimally with a nice balance between good pulling power and fuel efficiency, and paying $180,000 for that, which I know is going to make me money. I know I can drive it almost anywhere, and I know I can get 1,200 miles of range on a full load of fuel if I really push it. Well, push it to the warning light at least. It's a no-brainer in January 2022. We'll see what the future brings. The other caveat to that is that currently, because of supply chain issues, chip shortages, labor issues due to COVID variants, Omicron, Delta, whatever, even original Corona, the manufacturers of the semi-trucks, Freightliner, Mack, Volvo, Packard, with Peterbilt and Kenworth, they cannot build trucks fast enough to meet demand. Freightliner currently is sold out for all of 2022, and model year 2023 is also completely sold out, and I wish this guy would get himself out of this lane. He is clogging up traffic. This is super annoying. Anyway, so you can't get a new Freightliner anytime soon. They are sold out. They just do not have the delivery slots, the material, or the labor to meet the demand for new trucks. Right? They just don't have it. Packard, from what I understand, is a little bit better off, but the demand for Packard trucks, meaning Kenworth and Peterbilt, is nowhere near as high as it is for Freightliner. You can service Freightliners anywhere. All the carriers who can, they're switching to Freightliner. They're buying international. They're getting away from Packard. They're getting away from Volvo. They're getting away from Mack. Yeah, some of them are buying Volvos and buying Macks and buying whoever, but again, the demand is far and away exceeding the supply, which is why the price of used trucks is through the roof. But what does that have to do with e-semis? What that means is because they can't build diesel semis fast enough, there's no way they can build electric semis fast enough to meet demand. There's just no possible way, unless they're going to sacrifice their diesel customer base to go with the electric customer base. And unfortunately, with the demand for freight being what it is in the U.S., at least for right now, they cannot sacrifice their diesel customer base to start going with the electric customer base, just because, number one, the diesel customer base is spending billions of dollars to order tens of thousands of new semi-trucks. Point number two, the electric semis do not have the range or sustainability models to step into the gaps that will be vacated by diesel semi-trucks. We're not there yet. Again, in 2022 January. 2025 January will be a completely different